but it's not quite a house.
The thing about the palaces that you need to know, though, is that they're based upon people's cognition. It's sort of like a home. They're affected by, the palaces are affected by that person's mindset. It normally reflects the key shadow that's there.
Which my rambling actually did have a point, because that leads us to the Mentomories. Or Mentos and Mentomories, but still.
We're getting that. We're getting that.
I have dyslexia. I'm this green. I can't tell my left from my right, and you know this. This is why I drive a moped.
This left. So, mementos.
You're killing me.
19 minutes. 19.
Okay. Well, just so you know, the mementos is everyone together, which is kind of like where Flamin lives, where everyone else gets connected together. You got your little section where you got the smaller shadows all stuck together. They're all there.
And Morgana literally refers to it as the collective unconscious. That is the intention of the place. So let's go ahead.
Which, technically, TARDIS kind of is.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of is, but it is a completely different kind. Because where you have Memento Mori's being the conscious of everyone who's currently awake, TARDIS is the fear of death itself that everyone shares. So no matter who you are, you're connected to this one.
And Tartarus represents, though, too, in the games, it said that it represents Death's house to a certain extent, which they have to actually face. Persona 3's major theme is Memento Mori, or the knowledge that we all have to die at some point. Yes?
Is that like why it happens at night?
Yes.
Yes, because the closest time that you are to death is when you're asleep.
According to a lot of medieval books.
It's also scientifically proven. They've done a few tests.
Oh, cool.
Yep. That is why you have that little issue where if you sleep too relaxed, you'll jolt your body. It's because your body's trying to jumpstart your heart.
We have a contest.
Yep, sorry.
Also, that's also why everybody was taken at like the hour of twilight, is because that's when you're closest to.
But we're gonna jump to
world.
overall themes on that one.
Yes.
So the first one, the importance of bonds in the Persona 1. Because like I said, you can change out your characters. Your characters, everyone on your team, have the Joker wildcard ability, but only in their section. And then in Persona 2, the unescapable past. Part 1, the guy dies. First off, not even a spoiler, this is literally in the trailer. In 2, they trade places. The girl's the one that does it and lives. So you do get to play a female antagonist in part 2, and you get the same mechanics, and some of the people from the first game come back and help. And they're still in Persona age. Then you have the third, which is Memento Mori, which is carried over into Persona Trinity, which is connected to it. And that's a fear of death. That's why...
Was it a prequel or was it a sequel?
It was a sequel. 10 years later.
Okay, which we will let you all check out on your own.
It's a great anime.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's fantastic.
It's actually one of the only ones that does not have a wild card
But
protagonist.
it's really weird and complicated.
It's not that complicated. Just follow the feathers. But it's one of the reasons why you have the gun in Persona 3.
The Evoker.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which we would have had a picture, but
It looks like a gun, but it's not.
we're not that high up.
It was responsible for the reason why Persona 3 wasn't as popular, because everybody's sitting there going, why are all these kids having guns? It's an Evoker. It's an Evoker.
They have seed written on the side. They look like little toy guns. Why are you scared of these things?
I got freaked out when I first played it, and all of a sudden this kid puts a gun up to his head. I'm like, what?
I may just be numb to it.
Death that was supposed to activate the whole persona in that one. Of course, it changes though too. Everything from ripping a mask off to smashing a card in your hand and all that good stuff.
Which Persona 4, reaching for the true self and not fighting who you are, but knowing it's an exaggeration.
And Persona 5 basically being about finding yourself and resisting people trying to suppress that.
Which we kind of got a sneak peek of Persona 5 from Akechi. Yes, I know. Doesn't make sense. But in Persona 5, your characters already know who their shadow is, already accepts it. It's accepting it on the outside as well that stops them. Akechi accepted it in a different way. He thought it was the pure truth. And he's an Akechi fan. I'm backing on that one.
He believed what the shadow was telling him. The exaggerated beliefs that his shadow was telling him, to the degree where he basically went crazy to some extent. He kind of became an edgelord. But that was one of the things that Carl Jung was talking about, though, too, is how dangerous it is to accept that your shadow is you, because you'll be thinking that the negative qualities are all you will ever be. The danger of thinking that your persona is you is that you are basically fighting against yourself to a certain degree. But him accepting his shadow is the reason why his eyes were yellow in the games. And the other big issue about that is, though, too, is that with your persona, they'll sit there and say, I am thou and thou art I. But most of the time they'll sit there and say, they'll give you some sort of quote that basically indicates you're the one that has to make the choice. Whereas
Persona 3... in the regular game and Golden, the third protagonist says, you are thou, thou am I. It's reversed.
But in Golden, his specifically sits there and says that it is making the call. It is making the decisions. And that's what makes his distinctly different.
Someone didn't want his bonds. Okay. Which, bonds and confidants with the tarot cards.
Yes.
Remember how I said they stayed in their niches? This is why.
Now, those of y'all who are big on religion and stuff, I'm going to go ahead and say this now. Don't be afraid of these. They're French playing cards, basically, is what they actually are at the end of the day. I mean, they're French playing cards. They just have more suits. And the interesting thing about the games, though, is each of the arcana is represented by one of the cards, as well as tying into Carl Jung's archetypes. For example, the Empress is supposed to be the mother archetype to some degree. And that's how all this ties in. And while we have a laundry list of those, we are not getting into that.
Yep. But to make you guys laugh, because I'm pretty sure you guys didn't come here for a lecture. We got this bet. Yeah, we got this bet. But first, there was another bet that me and him had. And I hate to say, I think I lost that one.
So here's the thing about the bet. We played Persona 5, and while I was playing Persona 5, she was sitting there going, I really don't think that the main protagonist and Akechi are ever going to have any fan fiction where they, fall in love or any of that. Ladies and gentlemen, I know. And she reads more than I do. Ladies and gentlemen,
I actually have a fan
survey
page.
says. So,
I know, but why?
as grotesque as Akechi is, in a lot of ways, he upsets me because of his love of pancakes, and that is just here's the thing.
Speaking of ships.
We can talk about my number one ship, and don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I'm definitely.
This is why he wants that female
Makoto would have been my
protagonist.
choice, but let's
This
be
is why he wants
honest.
And he's perfectly straight.
Hold on. You cannot tell me that half of the things that happened to that confidant were not totally dates. You cannot tell me that. Watching couples in the pond, lie to me.
Not kidding.
I wish this not a thing.
In number 3, you can kind of almost date a guy, but you don't really, it's just at night, like, you want to come into my room? And you're like, yeah, sure. And then it just goes black. It's like, you know.
Yes.
They did that in 5 too.
Which,
But there was a scene where Yusuke was staying the night at your house. I'm just saying.
which brings us to our contest.
Yes, ladies and
The
gentlemen.
Fool's Journey.
So the entire point of the games, the way that they do the Arcana is they arrange them in sort of the Fool's Journey, which was the sort of storyline for the cards, with the Fool representing the person starting their life fresh and new, not influenced, who has to go on the journey and basically eventually achieve the world.
Well, he only wanted to have one prize for it. I've got a second, third, fourth, and fifth place. Hey,
So,
here's the contest. You have to come up here and put the arcana in order.
Well, not necessarily in order. What we're going to do is we're going to show you them one by one, and we want you to tell us which ones they are. If you can name all of them in order, you will get Teddy. Right?
Teddy goes home with you if you get it right.
Figurine. Maybe 40 in some places. However, if you get close, like 2 or 3 away, we also have other little prizes up here, though, too.
Which I'm actually going to come down lower so that whoever gets picked is actually going to get to actually talk into the mic so you can hear them.
Show of hands, who would like to give it a shot? All right, pick someone.
Can we get the tarot deck?
Hello, this is Metaton. Welcome to today's quiz show.
Yes.
After this, we'll be cooking with a killer robot. So moving on.
Give you the first try.
Yes. Come on down.
Can we get the tarot deck?
All right, so starting with number 0.
That's the fool, right?
Correct.
Not that one.
That.
To change that to 5.
Yeah, I know that one. It was the best friend's archetype in 3.
I can do that.
It was the best friend's archetype in 3.
I thought you were giving us the titles and we had to put them in order. No, you guys have to tell us the
They're
name.
numbered. That would be too easy.
Yeah.
One person would come up here and do that. And they would know rules. However, if you do know basic tarot, you can get this.
Mm-hmm.
Mage?
Yes, magician. That's right. I'll take it.
Hey, it's
Number
close
2.
Empress.
Correct. No, actually, that's the priestess. That's the priestess. That's what it was. The next one was the empress. Good try, though. Good try. Find us another. Good try. Oh, were you going to give them the free try? Were you going to try? No, we can't give them free tries. We don't have time.
Well, you were close on the one, so
Is it
pick
good
a prize.
No, go ahead.
You get either the poster, the t-shirt, or stickers.
Okay.
So, who's next?
So we have the fool and we have the magician.
Gentleman with the headband, or man with the headband.
Okay, so do you know this one? I just said it out of mistake.
The priest.
It's the priest.
Sorry.
Yeah, that one's freebie because he spoiled
Yeah.
it.
Very heinously. So much professionalism. This is hard. It took me a couple of minutes to get it myself.
Okay, last the pictures that you're picking for that particular aren't the traditional ones. Well, that's
They
because
are
from the game.
In the earlier ones, they weren't in 5. They changed them up to make them evil in 5.
I mean, those aren't the additional pictures for the tarot part.
True.
Every tarot deck is different.
That's what throws me off.
Yeah.
Every tarot deck is different.
That's why I got secondary prize
All right.
report. This is the
What do
one
you
is
think it
hard,
could
right?
be?
My only issue with that particular deck. Like, if you have brought out like the Aquarius deck or something, I'd be able to do it. Yeah.
Like I said, we got this.
Give it a shot. Give it a shot. Just take it easy. So close. So close. That's correct. Okay, so what would this one be then? That's the emperor. If you know the original card, this will make it a lot easier because of the shape of the picture. Going once. Very close though. Good try though.
What did she say?
Pick us another. Bring us another. Bring us another sacrifice.
What did she say?
She said temperance.
Yeah.
No, it's not temperance.
Okay, let's get someone from the back. Gentleman in the black and yellow shirt. I wish you good luck. Again, this is why I had secondary prizes.
Correct? The reason why I said that is because it represents the Pope. Correct? Correct. Correct. Tearing it up so far. Correct.
Wheel of Fortune.
Correct.
Sounds like a roll.
Right. Interesting fun fact. It also represents hunger in golden.
if she is laying down and they're about to eat her.
What was that? Correct. Death. Correct.
Temperance.
That is right.
The devil.
Right?
The tower.
Correct.
Star.
Right.
The moon. The sun. Judgment.
That is right. I was worried about that.
The world.
Ladies and gentlemen,
He knows tarot.
Thank you very much.
now real quick, because we have 5 minutes left for the remaining prizes, who can tell us, aside from hunger, what one of the persona were changed from one of the other games? Because there were some that were changed in the game. For example, hunger replaced strength for Itachi.
Hey, our friend in the back who.
3 other
Yeah.
ones. Aeon? What was it?
Awen, you got one.
Aeon, that is right.
Come pick one.
Don't get it.
I apologize. Now the shirt might be a little small. I got it at 5 below. You can take it back and exchange it for a right size.
All right, you got one? That is correct.
Hey, man, one.
Yeah, you
All right, we have one more prize and one more. It replaced the world.
Oh.
What prize do you guys?
The shirt.
He just won it. You guys
Oh, did you use tickets? Okay, we're good.
Yeah, that's all our prizes.
I guess we're good.
Unfortunately, we will have more next year because we might actually repeat this if you guys like it. Did you guys like it?
Yeah.
We'll make it less wordsy next time.
No, I mean, I like that you didn't spoil.
Okay, again, I got it at 5 below. You can easily take it back and exchange it.
I'll take it.
Or if you want to like pick someone
We
random.
have 3 more minutes. I have a funny picture reel.
Actually, I mean, alright, I'm taking over for a second. Who can wear a small? That's the first question.
It's guy size. Small. Oh, yeah. I fit this shirt. That's why I picked it up.
Okay.
So we have
Eeny, meeny, miny. I like
Elizabeth
blue.
is back.
So yeah, I lost another bet, so he actually got to have his little fun reel. Van, I'll make it up to you.
He never understood what the cat was saying the entire time. Can we just talk about that? This is literally how this had to go down. He confirmed that this was the case until the end of the game.
He literally was questioning if he should send him to a psych ward.
No, we're good. I don't want to go to bed. I want to eat a burger for my guts. The difference between 4 and 5, ladies and gentlemen. Very different. Very different scenario.
Hey, at least he's wearing the same outfit as the guy in 3, Death, right? And thank you very much. But now, since we have a
And Jack Frost. And Jack Frost.
Does anyone have any questions?
I don't think we have that much time, though.
Yeah.
We can do it real fast.
I think
We have time for like one question.
Okay, one question.
My question is, why do the shadows only represent the first 13 arcanas from magician to death? Why not the other types?
Well, actually,
Depends on
that's a
the
pretty
game.
funny thing. Do you guys know that there's actually 13 zodiac signs and actually 13 constellations? And there's 13 in the Chinese zodiac. It's all based on the personalities. Because there's only 13 setups, with the cat being in the Chinese zodiac and Opharis being in the solar constellation, it's the reason why the world is also known as the universe and doesn't show up in 2 of the games. It shows up in the first game by the dragons, which are shown from Tensei, and then shown up in the last game.
The other thing that you need to know, though, too, as we're taking everything down and getting everything sorted, is that death also is the 13th of the Arcana. And the thing is that that's a major turning point in the Fool's journey, essentially where he sort of changes and tries to get rid of old habits, which is kind of the central point of the other games. Because I know what you're mentioning, though, too, because it's up in 3 as well.
In tarot, if you actually study tarot, death actually represents rebirth, not actual death.
Yeah, it represents change. Like I said, change, rebirth, and basically kind of a sort of
By the way, you guys know that half the characters that are going to show up again in the next games, they couldn't get the original voice actors come back for? I'm not kidding.
Yeah, we are out of time. It's game over, man.
But,
game over.
yeah.
Thank
I
you
just
for
let you guys
coming,
know
though.
that.
It's been awesome.
But we'll catch you next year. And if anyone's dressing up like a superhero tomorrow, a few of my friends and I are going to be Teen Titans, and we're doing a photo shoot outside. So if anyone's dressed as a superhero, please join us.